pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali
Recording in progress.
inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the occasion of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023 is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to inform you that Southeast Asia Business Events Forum is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated.
Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to inform you that the occasion is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated. We would like to inform you that the occasion of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023 is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated.
Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the occasion of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023 is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated. Thank you. The occasion of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023 is about to begin. You may enter the ballroom and please be seated. Thank you.
Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner ASEAN Tourism Forum 2023. Di pameran ini, kamu bakal dapat banyak sekali produk UMKM kece, inspirasi liburan ke desa-desa wisata terbaik di Jogja dan sekitarnya. Tunggu apa lagi? Ayo, ramaikan Hall A Jogja Expo Center 2 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Gratis ongkir sampai rumahmu loh. Setelah sukses menjadi tuan rumah G20 tahun lalu di Bali, Indonesia kembali mendapat kehormatan menjadi tuan rumah ATF Travel Exchange. ATF Travex adalah pameran pariwisata terbesar di Asia Tenggara yang merupakan rangkaian kegiatan ASEAN Tourism Forum. Tahun ini, Yogyakarta sebagai tuan rumah dengan bangga menyambut ratusan perusahaan nasional dan internasional dari 29 negara di Jogja Expo Center pada tanggal 3 hingga 5 Februari 2023. Sugeng rawuh ing Yogyakarta, kota budaya, kota wisata, kota sejuta cerita. Tahun ini, Jogja bakal menjadi tuan rumah pameran pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif terbesar di Asia Tenggara, yaitu pameran UMKM dan kuliner.
Dari bawah, jadi udah. Dari bawah ya. Kalau usaha langsung mulai. Yes. Kalau bisa kasih kode ya. Kasih kode ya, Mbak ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, this occasion is about to begin. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno, Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, is joining with us. Selamat datang, Sugeng Rawuh Bapak Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Oke, bahasa Indonesia aja.
Ladies and gentlemen, this occasion is about to begin. To all participants and journalists, please be seated.
Selamat datang di Hotel Grand Rohan Jogja. Berikut kami sampaikan video mengenai safety briefing demi keselamatan dan keamanan Anda. Seluruh area telah dilengkapi dengan fasilitas keamanan yang terpasang dan terpantau oleh tim keamanan selama 24 jam. Jika sedang dalam keadaan darurat, bagi para tamu yang sedang berada di Grand Rohan Ballroom dan Jihan Meeting Room dapat mengevakuasikan diri melalui tangga yang ada di sisi barat yang akan mengarahkan ke lantai ground floor dan menuju ke titik kumpul aman yang terletak di sisi utara hotel. Terima kasih atas kepercayaan Anda dan selamat beraktivitas kembali.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our lovely hometown, Yogyakarta Special Region, or commonly simply mentioned as Jogja. It is the city of tourism, the center of culture and art, and of course, the place where you can find the real peace of mind and happiness. First of all, we would like to extend our warm greetings to Honorable Bapak Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno, Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Vincentius Jomadu, Deputy for Tourism Projects and Events, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia. Speakers, moderators, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the occasion of Southeast Asia Business Event Forum 2023. Today's agenda is focusing on foresting Southeast Asia Business Event approaching the post-pandemic era. This activity aims to increase collaboration in business event sector throughout Southeast Asia and explore ASEAN opportunities as a single business event destination. Also, this forum is a momentum to proclaim Indonesia's commitment to sustainability and green meeting. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, to deliver his opening remark. Bapak Sandiaga Uno, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam sehat. Good morning to you all, and greetings from wonderful Indonesia, and welcome to the beautiful city, special region of Yogyakarta. Please give a big hand for everybody. Our dearest guest, Mr. Edward Liu, the Honorary President of ASEAN Federations of Exhibitions and Conventions Associations. Thank you, Pa Edward, for making the trip. And now there is a direct flight from Singapore to Yogyakarta International Airport, the new airport. Mrs. Supawan Tirarat, Senior Vice President for MICE Capability and Innovations of Thailand Conventions and Exhibitions Bureau, Sawadee Kap, Kap Kum Kap. Welcome to Indonesia. Soon there will be a direct flight from Bangkok to Yogyakarta. I'm working on it. His Excellency Mr. Dato Sri Abdul Kani, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysia Conventions and Exhibitions Bureau. There is a direct flight already from KL to the new Yogyakarta International Airport. My best friend, Bapak Arsyad Rashid, Chairman of Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who is flying direct from Jakarta, and I think there's some delay, but he will be joining us soon. Thank you very much. Also, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the industry from government all over ASEAN countries and our neighbors. Also, from the government side, we welcome all the kadis or the department head from provinces from Sumatra, Java, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, also Bali, Nusa Tenggara, and Eastern Indonesia. Thank you very much for Bapak Ibu Kadis who are joining by physically and by virtually. Also from business sectors, I see a very strong presence here. Deputy Secretary General Pak Singh from ASEAN, thank you very much. Chairman of PACTO, my very good friend, also a runner, Ibu Ratining. Did you run this morning? Not yet. She will run. We ran a New York Marathon together some time back for Ibu Kiki. At that time, the marketing team of Wonderful Indonesia. Also from Asperapi, Pak Hosea, thank you very much. I would like to also acknowledge Pak Arfan and many whom I cannot mention the name one by one. Thank you for your presence. I was told by Ibu Iyung to also say hi to people in the virtual side. Maybe we could bring them up in the screen from all the tourism polytechnic institutes across Indonesia, from Medan, from Palembang, from Jakarta, from Bandung, from Bali, Lombok, and Makassar. Please give a big hand for all polytechnic students. They actually have a day off today to see you guys speak. So that's part of them earning credits for their future degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, it is really a big honor for me to be here on the occasions of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023 with the theme of fostering Southeast Asia business events approaching the post-pandemic era. As you may all know, Indonesia continues to show its achievement in various sectors, including the tourism and creative economy sectors. During this recovery after a very tough 2.5 years of pandemic, by starting to show positive figures on the international travel. However, as Southeast Asia, we're lagging behind our friends in Europe, behind our friends in America, and other parts who have recovered much faster. So by being here in Yogyakarta, I hope we could start accelerating and catch up. I would like to share some of the data that I mentioned to Mr. Edward just now, that the global and tourism sectors records a positive 1.8% growth in deal activity just for the first quarter of the last year, but it actually have been accelerating. And in particular for Indonesia, they have achieved more of the higher targets. First, on the World Economic Forum, we jumped 12 points in terms of Travel and Tourism Development Index. We're now ranked number 32. And also, Bali has been recognized as one of the greatest places for 2022 by Times Magazine. In terms of economic contributions, I'd like to report that thanks to MICE and other tourism-related activities, we have been able to create 3.3 million new jobs last year, ahead of the initial target of only 1.1 million jobs. But next year, 2024, we have been asked to hit the new numbers of 4.4 million new jobs by the end of this administrations. Indonesia also have been able to receive UNWTO award for development of tourism village, one of our strengths, and this is to revitalize the tourism. And here in Yogyakarta, you have world-renowned desa wisata or tourism village Ngelanggeran in Gunung Kidul, about an hour from here, whereby it could also host a post tour or even as a venue for MICE. So here we have the new deputy for events and tourism product, Pak Vincentius Jemadu. Please welcome him. Previously, he was in charge of destinations development and infrastructures and developing this tourism village. So now that you, in your new role, you need to bring MICE to tourism village. Siap? Okay, he said he's ready. So be prepared to be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished participants, we will continue to commit ourselves to developing business events in Indonesia by engaging in numerous collaborations with all stakeholders. And we, together with private sectors, with the new Director General of Immigrations, with the new approach for the customs, we continue to coordinate for easier travel procedures. Some ideas still in the making, and I think Ibu Kiki, the new Deputy for Industry and Investments, are working on much faster events approval from all layers of government and also securities like the police. We are going to fully digitalize all permits. Hopefully, Pa Hosea will be able to help, and also Ibu Rati, so that music events, MICE events will have a much faster approval 6 months ahead for in-principle approval and 3 months ahead of detailed approvals. So there is certainties for all these permits to host world-class international events in Indonesia. Secondly, we are also working with Kadin to, and that's why Pa Arsyad is, we asked him to speak, and there's also a representative from Kadin, Pa Teguh Anantawikrama, to make sure that we could share knowledge, experiences, common thoughts, efforts, and finding best solutions. Because we believe MICE events create economic activities, and economic activities creates investment opportunities. Investment opportunities creates jobs. Jobs creates income, and once Indonesia is, and other ASEAN countries is driven by consumption, our economy will grow. It's also good that we need to highlight the importance of human capital buildings in terms of handling crisis management like the past pandemic, management handling of issues arising last minute, sustainability issue. Here, I would like to introduce Pak Arfan from Jejak.in. Please stand up, Pak Arfan. His company is part of the Gojek Tokopedia Decacorn universe, is helping the industry and travelers to calculate their carbon footprint when they go to MICE events, and you could offset the carbon footprint by planting mangrove or other type of activities in order you could offset your footprint, so your travel could be carbon neutral. We are very, very serious in making the effort to reduce our carbon footprint by 50% in 2035 and completely net zero by 2045. With all your help, we think we would be able to commit that implementing green meetings such as this one, which highlight the importance of environmental sustainability from a more holistic experience. We have removed most of the plastics. Yes, there is some plastic still, but we are removing all the unfriendly environmental materials from all the meetings, and we would like to also work on food loss and food waste. So there's some food in front of you, you have to finish it. Otherwise, it will contribute to carbon emissions. We are also encouraging stakeholders to optimize and use digital technology. There are some digital companies here, and also we're focusing our attentions for renewable energies as well as the new energies. Some of the tourism areas are now being supported by geothermal, by hydro, as well as by solar panel-powered electricity. To support this, other than Jejak.in, which have the carbon calculator for visitors to calculate the emissions generated during their visits and immediately offset them, there's also Y-Step Consulting. And I'd like to highlight that the results show that there are almost 160 million or 160,000 tons of total carbon CO2 equivalent, which is equivalent to approximately 5 million mangrove trees that needs to be planted. And this is basically the study that we're doing. So mice could actually contribute to reducing this carbon emissions by planting more mangrove trees. And we have some areas near Yogyakarta also for planting the mangrove trees on our pilot project. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, I would like to close, I promised Pa Edward, to share some G20 numbers. Last year, we hosted G20. Ibu Rati smile a little bit. Profit or not? A little bit or a lot? A lot. See, Bu Kiki, you have to be friends with Ibu Rati. She will pay a lot of dividend, which make Pak Ismail happy. We believe, and also you, Pak Asperapi, you will see a lot of activities because from the G20, which has been successfully held not only in Nusa Dua Bali, but across Indonesia, because we brought in all the G20 side events from Sabang to Papua. We believe that that was conducted and executed with strict health and safety protocols. The contributions of G20 summit is estimated around more than $500 million US. And this is serious because we are just entering the final phase of pandemic. And around 7.4 trillion rupiah contributions to Indonesia's economy, to our gross domestic product. During our presidency of the G20, there are 438 activities held in 25 cities in Indonesia with various levels of meetings. Total, almost 21,000 delegates to Indonesia. These are the high quality spending, longer staying visitors that help the tourism recovery. And the entire series, which culminated in November of the main events and the side events, we were able to absorb 33,000 jobs, from transportations to accommodations, MICE activities, and micro, small, medium enterprises sectors. From culinary to souvenirs, to crafts, to fashion, all the way to digitalizations, applications, televisions, radio. They're everywhere during the G20. And this is how MICE could actually be able to lead a recovery. And the recovery was accelerated because of events. This year, we will be hosting ASEAN. As chairman of ASEAN, Pak Singh, we're going to have the events in Labuan Bajo in May, but also the main events in Bali. There are close to 300 meetings also, including the ones here in Yogyakarta. So we really need to improve the quality of events. And to improve the quality of events, we need strategic partners such as yourself. We need to make sure that the events will adopt the latest and the greatest of technology, will be more engaging, will be more inclusive also to our friends of disabilities. We also need to make sure our events continue to develop the ability to create good quality jobs. And this is part of the new post-pandemic era of cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability. And we are able to do this with your support. And we, as Indonesia, will continue to bid for international world-class standard conferences. Not only we will be hosting many sports events this year, but we are now asking for the likes of the industry to help the government bid for international events here in Indonesia. Finally, I would like to thank the ASEAN for allowing us to create a lot of side events and taking advantage of ASEAN chairmanship. And let us use this forum as a platform to network, but also to collaborate and challenge ourselves. What could we do better in terms of the 3 Ps: people, planet, and prosperity? In order to do that, we need to continue with the theme of ASEAN, the epicentrum of growth, and continue with innovations. We need to approach new ideas, and we will have collaborations in the spirit of ASEAN Gotong Royong, working together. Let me close my remarks by saying thank you for everybody and success to the forum. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
Bapak Sandiaga Uno, you are kindly asked to remain on stage to strike the gong. We also would like to invite Bapak Vincentius Jemadu, Mr. Edward Liu, Bapak Santo Wijaya, Ibu Ratining, and Bapak Hosea Andrea Runkat. Please come forward. Bapak Sandiaga Uno, you may strike the gong on my count. On my count. Okay, on my count. 1, 2, 3. Let's give a big round of applause for the event Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023. Bapak Sandiaga Uno, you are kindly asked to remain on stage for a photo session. And we would like to invite all speakers and moderators to come forward. Thank you. You may return to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Sandiaga Uno would kindly leave the ballroom as he has another agenda. Bapak Sandiaga Uno, thank you for attending this occasion. Bapak Sandiaga Uno, thank you for attending this occasion, and we would like to inform to all participants that Bapak Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno would kindly leave the ballroom as he has another agenda. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have followed the opening ceremony of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023, officially opened by Bapak Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno. We are about to follow the next agenda today. Please be seated. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, before we come to the next session, we would like to inform you that we have provided to all participants tumblers on your goodie bag. We have the sterilizer at the pre-function area, and feel free to refill the water anytime you need. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to follow the next agenda today on the occasion of Southeast Asia Business Events Forum 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Honorary President Africa, who is also Honorary President Sachios, the exhibition man dubbed by the Straits Times Singapore, to deliver his keynote speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Edward Liu.
Selamat pagi, Papa dan Ibu-ibu. So, once again, I will now have to speak in English. My apologies that my Bahasa Indonesia is not up to the mark. But first of all, allow me to thank the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy for inviting me to attend your event and to deliver this keynote address. I'm indeed overwhelmed because there are so many other respected leaders here attending this event, and I'm given the honor to say my piece. So, I shall now begin by introducing myself, because I know that I'm new to most of you, except for some of the senior MICE leaders here. So that would be my agenda, or the content of my presentation. And I shall now just give a short introduction about myself. Yes, I'm known as the exhibition man in Singapore, largely because of the work that I have done in the industry, obviously. I started as early as 1977, and my first event was in 1979, where I organized the first computer show in Singapore. research in Asia and took advantage of the economic growth in this part of the world. And therefore, as I said, more or less started the Asianization of the mice industry. So, this also encouraged or sparked the emergence of more local organizers throughout Southeast Asia and in Asia, particularly China. As I said, with the opening up of China in 2001, a lot of organizers went to all parts of China, particularly Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and so on and so forth. Of course, there were also those organizers who went to Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and the whole of Southeast Asia. Okay? So that's where many of us got started, and more organizers came on board in the 80s, beyond, starting with 2001 onwards. So the effect of this Asianization of the mice industry, as I said, sparked the emergence of more organizers. And I really recognize many of you in this room. Okay? Now, in 2020, we have the impact of COVID. I was going to talk about SARS in 2003, but now I'll skip that. So because of the COVID, right, I think most organizers in this part of the world and throughout the whole world, we were all forced to cancel or postpone our events. In a sense, I was out of business for 3 years. I was not allowed to do any event in 2020 and then 21, but we actually started our business again, reviving it last year. So many of the senior staff who were working for the foreign organizers based in China, they were forced to also, some of them, move out of China. Some to Malaysia, some to Singapore, and so on. Because it was not possible at all to do any show in China in the last 3 years. So impacted by COVID-19 and the closure of this China market, amidst also tensions amongst the superpowers, so many foreign organizers have now begun to look at Southeast Asia in the last 2 years in particular, because they couldn't do anything, right, in China. So they are moving now to Southeast Asia. So some of them, in order to come into Southeast Asia, have already started acquiring local companies or exhibitions. Okay, whether it is Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, I'm sure they will be in Indonesia very soon, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in order for them to fast track into the Southeast Asia market. Now, so therefore, I'm using the term the ASEANization of the mice industry. I foresee that for the rest of this year, of this decade, more and more European and US organizers will be coming to Southeast Asia. Okay? And as I said, in the meantime, the rest of us, those who are already in business, we have started to organize events with a vengeance, as I said, and talking to many of my colleagues in the industry, the recovery is now in full swing. It ranges from 50, 60% up to 90%. The latest I heard is 90% in some countries. Okay, I'm referring perhaps to Korea, one of them. But on the average, it's between 60 and 80% of recovery to be achieved this year, and inshallah, it will be full recovery by next year. So that would be very good news for all of us. So, the next part of my presentation will be, what is the current situation in ASEAN? I think with the reopening of the China borders, really, it is shot in the arm, as I said, more and more Chinese business people, as well as organizers, are now looking to move out of China and to take part in events in Southeast Asia in particular. Because I think it will still be a bit of a challenge for them to go to the US or Europe for that matter. Okay? So therefore, with the reopening, it will be a boost in the arm for the economic development in Southeast Asia. So Singapore is now making very strong headways, okay? And we are expecting to hit up to 80% of recovery for Singapore. For Malaysia, I know they are also recovering very soon, but slightly behind us, yeah? But talking to Datuk Ghani here, okay, the chief of MICEP, I think Malaysia will be stepping up and will be doing at least 80% at the end of the year. Similarly for Thailand, I was in Thailand just during the Lunar New Year period, again talking to some of my friends. Yes, they are also recovering, but right now they're focusing a lot more on consumer events. But I'm sure the business event will be coming up very, very soon. And that is followed by Vietnam and Philippines. They are now slowly picking up the momentum to recover from the pandemic. Okay. Oops, I've done that. Okay. All right. The last part, I want to talk a little bit about Indonesia. Being the largest country with more than 270 million population here in Indonesia, every organizer must look at the market potential, okay? And also, with the seat of the ASEAN headquarters here in Jakarta, I believe that Indonesia could do much more for the mice industry. That's why we invited Mr. Sabinder Singh from the ASEAN Secretariat to be here. Hopefully, he could also do something for us. So my suggestion is that perhaps Indonesia could initiate and launch what I call an ASEAN Expo. An ASEAN Expo focusing on some of the key industries and innovations. We heard the minister was talking about the green economies. There are a lot more other emerging technologies that would help enable our economic development in Southeast Asia. So if Indonesia could kickstart this ASEAN Expo with the support of the ASEAN headquarters, plus, of course, the participating countries, it will be good. And this event could be rotated amongst the ASEAN countries, okay? In addition, I would like to urge Indonesia, my friends here from the industry, they could perhaps initiate the formation of an ASEAN Mice Federation. Dato Vincent is here, president of AFICA. I know the AFICA is our overarching organization for the whole of Asia. But in order to build an ASEAN spirit, an ASEAN community, I'm very keen to encourage the formation of an ASEAN Mice Federation so that we could build a stronger mice community and ecosystem in order to fast-track the economic development of our ASEAN countries, okay? Then finally, I would also like to suggest to the Indonesian Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, perhaps they could consider forming an international MICE advisory panel to help them chart the development of the MICE industry going forward. Because this is really the time for Indonesia to lead the way. Now, so in conclusion, is that the MICE pandemic had certainly dealt a devastating blow to the MICE industry, not just in Asia, but globally. But good thing is we are recovering, right? We are recovering, and most of us are now launching lots of events in this year and beyond. So now some of us had tried hybrid events. That was mostly in 2000 and 2001. But my own sense is that the hybrid event of virtual trade show didn't really produce the results that we were hoping to have. So hence, most of us are now reverting back to physical event, face-to-face, like this one. You know, we all love to see each other and to shake each other's hands and give each other a hug as well, right? Yeah. So therefore, with, as I said, the closure of the China market the past 3 years, we are now going to see a lot of foreign organizers moving to Southeast Asia, as I said. And therefore, that will become the ASEANization of our MICE industry for the rest of this decade. So going forward, yeah, and last but not least, as I said, Indonesia really has the potential of being the center of our MICE industry going forward. So with that, it leaves me to say terima kasih or matur uno. Thank you.
Once again, let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Edward Liu. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have followed the keynote speech from Honorary President Africa, who is also Honorary President, such as the exhibition man dubbed by the Straits Times Singapore, Mr. Edward Liu. And today we would have several agendas. There will be 3 talk show sessions. The first one is Government Forum. The second one is Southeast Asia Business Forum, and the last one is Global Industry Forum. And also there will be special session after talk show session 1. Ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding to the next agenda, which is talk show session 1, we also would like to remind you that we have provided you tumblers on your goodie bag. We have the sterilizer at the pre-function area, and please feel free to refill the water anytime you need. And we also have the voucher or shopping voucher for the amount of 3,000 rupiahs on your goodie bag. You can use it for buying products in all small, medium enterprises in exhibition booth on February the 2nd up to 5th, 2023. On today's agenda, we also would like to present e-certificate to all speakers and moderators in the framework of applying green meeting concept, which is paperless. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to talk show session 1. It is government forum with 6 speakers. Our moderator on this session is Executive Chairman Australia Gaining Age. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Gary Grimmer.
Great to be here, and I'm honored to say that I got the chance to follow Edward Liu, one of my favorite people in the industry, who's not just exhibition man in Singapore, he's actually a leader throughout all Asia and other parts of the world. So it's great to follow you, Edward. We have a great panel today, and we're going to be talking a lot about putting an emphasis on the word business events. We've heard a great introduction by the distinguished minister, who explained to us how important business events can be to the tourism industry. And Indonesia is doing very well in terms of growing its business events and its tourism in general. But during this forum, we're going to switch gears a little bit and put an emphasis on the word business. In this first part, we'll also put an emphasis on the word government. How do businesses, how does business events, how does that all relate to government? So with that, I think we're going to have a great session. And I guess I'll be inviting the rest of our panelists up, or does the moderator do that? Does the mistress of ceremonies do that? All the panelists, come on up. I'll introduce you once you're up here. Okay, thank you for that. Now that we're all here, I just wanted to introduce you to our distinguished panel. I'll go in order from my immediate left. Santo Wijaya, who is chairman of the Indonesian Convention and Exhibition Bureau. Santo, just to give a bit of a background, has been chairman of various organizing committees in the creation of major festivals, especially culinary and creative product festivals. So certainly within the business events industry and in tourism in general, festivals are really vitally important. So it's great. We've got a bit of a diverse group, and it's great to have somebody like Pak Wijaya to share with us that perspective and those experiences. To his immediate left is Kun Supawan Tirarat, who is Senior Vice President, MICE Capability and Innovation at the Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau. So Supawan has had various positions at TSEB, as it's called, Vice President of Strategic and Business Development, and also Senior Vice President of Development and Innovation. She has a marketing background, was former Group Marketing Director at TSEB, and even was Director of Marketing at Queen Sirikit National Convention Center, so has a bit of experience there on the venue side as well. To her immediate left is Dato Sri Kani, who is the CEO of the Malaysia Convention and Exhibition Bureau. Connie, in addition to leading MICEB, has been on the board of ICA, Board of Directors of ICA, the International Congress and Convention Association. He's also a board member of AFICA. Masios is a board of trustees with the Islamic Tourism Center. And he's even a professor emeritus at Taylor's University. So we're hearing from a scholar as well as an industry expert. To Dato Sri's immediate left is Waikin Wang. I think most of you know Waikin because she's the regional director for ICA Asia Pacific. Has been there for a couple of years now in that new role, and prior to that comes to us from the PCO industry, where she was business director at GIS Group in Taiwan. So it's nice to have that PCO perspective with us today, as well as ICA's global perspective. And finally, and not least, pleased to welcome Pak Arshad Rashid. Pak Arshad is chairman of the Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He's also group CEO of PT Indika Energy. In 2010, he was awarded Best Executive by Asia Money in Indonesia, and in 2011, Young Global Leader by the World Economic Forum. So some global credentials that we're glad to have on this distinguished panel. I want to go ahead and jump right into this. Let me say, in terms of an introduction, that we'll have lots of time for interaction with you, the audience. So you'll have a chance to ask whatever questions are on your mind. Again, our emphasis on this panel is about the business events industry and the interaction with government. So we'll be talking a lot from a government perspective. And what we're going to start with in this first part is doing a little bit of a retrospective look. How did governments respond to the challenges of COVID? For that, we're going to do a bit of a talk show format and let everybody have a bit of a say, and I'll ask them a couple of questions. And then after that, we're going to move into the audience Q&A. So delighted to hear questions from you. We want to keep it relatively informal. I can see all of you, so you can raise your hands and find the nearest microphone if you'd like to ask a question. But to kick things off, I'm going to ask two questions really quickly and just go one by one and have everyone give us a couple of minutes' thoughts. The first question was, how did government that you may have worked with risk manage the crisis during the pandemic? What were the challenges and what did you learn? So with that, I think I will start with Pak Wijaya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Giri. For our government, in risk management system during pandemic, the first step is they do some strategy during the pandemic. One is regarding the cross-border visitors. They forbidden incoming foreign visitors, and for Indonesia people cannot go abroad for the first time. First step. The second one, they make they forming COVID task force with central with several level. The first is the central, provincial, and the city. This is the task force is to monitoring the activity and the impact of the COVID. The third is the make a policy of we call restriction of the crowd, PSBB we call it. We cannot gathering too many people in one place, and the task force will come and monitoring regarding the events. That's impact for the what we call MICE activity here. Okay, I continue. From January to 2021, the government make the starting the vaccine for all people until now. After that, our government give the tax reduction for land and employee income tax. This is for subsidize the people. Another strategy from our government is distribute grant for salary subsidies for impact employee from 2021 until 2022. Regarding that, government give grants for tourism related industry, like the hotel, especially for the hotel. Some of that is for the restaurant too. After that, especially for the tourism and creative economy ministry, the initiative for tourism, we call it Indonesia Care. Indonesia Care is the standardization of the cleanliness, healthy, safety, and environmental sustainability. This is certification for industry in tourism to apply the standard for the cleanness. That is. Our challenge for the regulation and policies from government for our industry is it is long procedure for get the permit, and sometimes it is uncertainty. Maybe for the exhibition or conference, we just get maybe 2 weeks before the event. It's uncertainty. That is.
Okay, thanks, Pak Wajaya.
For the visitors also, and we also have the application